Euromaxx highlights. Coming up on the show, Treasure Trove, the German art collectors who build museums for their prized possessions. Secret Passion, French actor Gerard Depardieu cooks for guests at the Salzburg Festival. Sounds of Russia, the Schleswig-Holstein Music Festival is host to the world's top balalaika player. Euromaxx highlights, and here's your host, Robin Merrill.
And a very warm welcome from Berlin, where we are really spoilt for choice when it comes to museums and art galleries. In fact, there are more and more springing up all the time, many of them private museums to house personal collections. The art market is booming and shows no sign of a slowdown, and private collectors, rather than lend their works for particular exhibitions, are creating permanent homes for them.
This top-notch contemporary art has been on display for the last 2 months in the Berlin district of Charlottenburg. Collector and entrepreneur Roman Keudel has opened his own personal art gallery.
These days, it's the art collectors who are making a huge impact on the market. They have the money, which the public institutions or publicly funded museums often don't. They hire the interesting, good curators who are brimming with excellent ideas, and they create their own spaces.
Keudel has rebuilt an old underground transformer station. He's filled it not with his own collection, but the treasures of other art collectors. In the center of Berlin, 6 private museums have opened or are still being built in the last 6 months. The most impressive is Christian Borus's collection. The media mogul from Wuppertal is showing his pieces in a refurbished above-ground bunker left over from World War II. Visitors are welcome only on weekends and by appointment, but then Borus is happy to show all of his works.
It's the feeling you get after you've allowed strangers into your private collection, that you haven't been made poorer. It's not a piece of soap that gets used up. It's more like something has been added. You're richer for sharing it with others.
Elsewhere on the former palace grounds, private investors are building a temporary art gallery, which will exhibit contemporary art for 2 years. Nearby, Thomas Olbricht is building a museum. The art collector and heir to the Welle hair products dynasty owns one of the largest art collections in Europe. But they get even bigger. At the end of next year, construction of another art museum near Berlin's main train station is planned. Nicholas Berggruen, the son of the recently deceased art collector Heinz Berggruen, says the venue is ideal for housing his permanent collection.
It will be a new building with hopefully a fantastic architect, and it will be a contemporary collection.
These days, Berlin is a draw for just about every self-respecting art collector, including media entrepreneur Christiane Zuzan. Her collection, titled About Change, is being shown in a new building near Berlin's Museum Island. On show are photographs and collages by contemporary artists.
I started by going into galleries and finding out for myself. I approached it without bias or in-depth support from art historians or experts.
But of course, it takes more than just interest to become a good collector and set up your own museum. Whatever their motivation, these private art collectors are a boon to the city of Berlin.
They certainly are. To Austria now, in the company of the French film star Gerard Depardieu. Last year, he performed there narrating Berlioz's Symphonie Fantastique. It was then that he discovered the Icarus restaurant and was to be found there every night after his performance. It's said he sampled everything on the menu. This year, he's creating it.
Gerard Depardieu is an actor, a cook and a gourmet. At the Salzburg Festival, the Bon Vivant from France is whipping up a meal for a select group of diners at the exclusive Icarus restaurant. His philosophy?
La cuisine, vous savez, In the kitchen, you never have to invent anything. In the beginning, you have nothing more than good ingredients. Personally, I like to prepare them as tenderly and as slowly as possible. You need to take your time when you're cooking. The same is true of eating, and with women as well.
Many still remember Gerard Depardieu in the role of Asterix's perpetually hungry sidekick Obelix. There are similarities between the real man and the character, and they don't stop at the table.
What I really like best about Obelix is his love of life. I love life myself, maybe a bit too much, and sometimes it wears me out.
Do you also like wild boar?
Oh yes, I adore pork. Yesterday we had a suckling pig. It was fantastic. The pig's parents were happy to leave their offspring to us for something so special, and we ate it.
Gerard Depardieu even managed to impress star cook Eckhard Witzigmann with his simple traditional meals. Witzigmann describes one of the actor's favorites.
This is one of Monsieur Depardieu's favorite dishes. Knuckle of roe deer, cooked very slowly, of course, because the natural juices are highly concentrated.
The guests dined on a 6-course meal prepared by the 60-year-old Depardieu using recipes from his cookbook. They waited with particular suspense for a potion he created and dedicated to the film character Obelix.
Gerard Depardieu has cooked for us today. We have here goose liver and a magic drink made of tomatoes and melons.
When Asterix drinks the magic potion, he gets special powers. So I thought, okay, I'll wait a half an hour, and then I'll have special powers too. But nothing happened.
That did nothing to cramp the style of Princess Gloria von Thurn und Taxis, or Eliette von Karajan.
I never needed a chef before now, but I'm ready to recommend him.
The illustrious guests enjoyed the meal after an evening at the opera. Even actress and self-professed gourmet Anja Kruse was thrilled by more than Depardieu's cooking skills.
He's got an amazing amount of charm. That's his magic. His personal potion. If you've got charm and charisma, it's completely irrelevant how you look or how much you weigh.
Gerard Depardieu is a real Lothario, and not only at the stove.
First, you have to ask a woman what she likes. Then you try to prepare it. I think women who love to eat are wonderful. I think eating is noble, to nourish and strengthen your body with food. Maybe I do that a bit too much. But cooking for a woman is something special.
Perhaps almost as special as being cooked a meal by Depardieu himself.
To the very north of Germany now, where one of the world's longest music festivals is currently underway in Schleswig-Holstein. This year it runs from the 12th of July until the end of August, and its theme is Russian sound. And the sound of the balalaika is typically Russian. We met up with an amazing balalaika player who's been wowing audiences with his unique interpretations of the classics.
Has never sounded like this before. Andrei Gorbachev is one of the world's best balalaika players. A touch of Russia at the Schleswig-Holstein Music Festival with an outdoor picnic and perfect balalaika tremolos.
Practice every day, 5 hours. It's very easy.
Very easy.
From 5 years old till now, no problem.
Without stopping?
Yes, like pianist player, like violin player, it's professional. I have some secret exercise, for example, the best exercise with. It's very effective. For example.
German pianist Lothar Freund accompanies Andrei Gorbachev. The collaboration works not only on stage, but off stage too. All Andrei has to worry about is the music, and Lothar takes care of all the organization. They've been a great team for 8 years now. Music festivals in the countryside, like here at the Pronsdorf Stalls, are a welcome change from performing in concert halls. Andrei Gorbachev does more than 100 concerts a year with his balalaika, which is custom-made for classical music.
We have some men who made balalaika. For example, from these men, only 16 instruments in the world. And I have a very interesting system because this part from helicopter metal is special metal from Soviet Army. It's secret. And wood, of course, like in violin, many players play only in this part. And I am first in the world played in this part.
Andrei Gorbachev's fans call him the Paganini of the balalaika. Many classical compositions have been arranged especially for him and his balalaika. After the intermission, the music rages on with concert fantasies from George Gershwin's opera, Porgy and Bess.
German interior designer Niels Holger Moormann actually studied law, but was always curious about design and set himself up as a designer back in 1983. Success soon followed, and his company NHM now has a global name for simple yet unconventional designs which often have a playful and humorous side. His latest project is rather different, converting an old inn up in the Bavarian mountains into a very stylish and unique hotel.
Aschau is a quiet village in the Bavarian countryside, an hour's drive from Munich. It's home to a 400-year-old farmhouse that has been lovingly refurbished and turned into a small hotel. The owner is furniture designer Niels Holger Moormann. He lives and works in Aschau. He named the hostel Berge, or mountains.
It's in the middle of the mountains, and mountains are my passion, and also because the word Berge resonates with Herberge, haven or shelter, and that's what I wanted to create here.
This is no ordinary hotel. There's no reception area and no restaurant either. The rooms have a very special feel. Each one is different, individually decorated with original Moormann furniture.
An old building like this has a soul, and you have to look for it, discover its character. It takes a surprisingly long time to strip everything away, to get back to the roots, and then translate that into something modern.
The 17th century building used to be a bakery that supplied the local nobility. In the 20th century, the property was turned into a youth hostel. Moormann bought the building in 1998 and started renovations in 2006.
There were layers upon layers, and this typically terrible ceiling of polystyrene tiles, the quaint old farmhouse look. Now it's back to its essence. It's pure. It took a long time to get there.
Here, guests are welcome to gather around or even prepare a meal together. This room is 140 square meters of pure Moormann minimalism. He designed some pieces of furniture especially for this space. Guests can enjoy the beauty of Moormann's work. In all, there are 13 vacation apartments and rooms.
It's a complete work of art. The entire hotel is beautiful. Anywhere you look, you're surprised by interesting details. It's a dream. It's a pleasure to be here.
Moorman originally planned to build a warehouse for his furniture, but the village authorities denied him permission. So instead, he converted this old building. Now, besides being one of Germany's most successful furniture makers, Moorman also runs his own hotel.
It's an entirely new experience for me, because I'm dealing with people and not just with furniture. And people want to know about hiking trails and the weather forecast. I'm learning an awful lot. And we're very lucky that the guests are treating me and the house as a work in progress.
Nils Holger Moorman has taken on a lot with this project to create an aesthetically pleasing hotel and a meeting place. A hotel that stands out from the rest, here in the heart of Bavaria.
99% of all gliders are made here in Germany. So it's not surprising that this country is expected to win quite a few of the top prizes at this year's World Championship. Added to the fact that it's being held just outside Berlin helps a bit too, as the local pilots know the thermals here well.
The hunt is on. All the pilots are searching for the best thermal in hopes it will lend them the altitude and momentum they need to outmaneuver their rivals. The world champion will be the one to cover 700 kilometers in the shortest time, without an engine. Each day, the 130 glider pilots here at the World Gliding Championships in Lüsse face a new challenge. The distance and their route depend on the weather. Only a few of the international pilots here actually fly for a living. Katrin Zenne, for example, is an economist. But in 2007, she became the women's world gliding champion.
The special thing for me is that people from 30 countries have come together in one place to spend 3 weeks to experience this. You get exposed to different mentalities, other nationalities, and you make friends.
Holger Caro is in the top flight gliding class. The two-time world champion is checking his Nimbus with its 26-meter wingspan. He's looking forward to the competition at the World Championship. Gliders in the open class can fly up to 3,000 kilometers, all without an engine. Each craft is an outstanding design achievement. Schempp produces some 100 gliders each year, on average. The workshop in Kirchheim unter Teck, near Stuttgart, is known as one of the best. Carbon fiber is the recipe for gliding success. It's as strong as steel, but light as a feather. A newly built glider is being readied for testing. It seems a miracle that wings put together this way don't come apart in the air. Safety tests are crucial because in the air, a flaw can be fatal.
Some gliders are built so painstakingly and with so much effort that you're particularly happy to see one take to the air after working on it for 6 months.
After they've successfully passed their test flights, the aircraft are sold worldwide. Some 40% of the gliders at the World Championship were made by Schempp. Technical perfection in the plane is mandatory on the one hand, but in competition, a pilot's instinct and experience are decisive.
You've got to be able to read the weather, recognize the structure of the clouds, know where to climb. The contrasts are extreme, especially when it's stormy. You could be blown up into the air like a damp leaf on the one side, but drop like a stone on the other, and the flight's over in 5 minutes. Then you're down in a field talking with a local, and the competition flies on past you.
The World Gliding Championship continues until August 16th in Brandenburg, Germany.
Yes, you always have to work hard to make your dreams come true. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, bye-bye.